Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Wizard. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. Hello, Barbara Kopple. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm quite well myself. Are you enjoying yourself here at the Toronto International Film Festival?
Very much.
Oh.
It's a wonderful festival. I've been here many times before. One of my first films that I ever made, Harlan County, USA, was here at the first festival.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That is alarming.
It is alarming, but wonderful.
No, it's alarming in a good way.
It didn't get into the book because it was accepted after the book had been printed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to make your latest Desert One?
Well, I really had heard about, the History Project, wanting to do 100 feature-length films about, little known or forgotten, buried pieces of history. And they had a list of, maybe 20 or 25 on there, and one of them was Desert One. And so I thought, well, this is interesting, and I sort of did a little research on it, and I wrote them back and said, I would really love to do this, and is that possible? And they said, absolutely. So
Wow.
that's how it started.
So we're going to rewind to 1979. I wasn't in the picture, but you were in the picture.
Barely. No, I was.
Yeah. So what were your memories of the Iranian Hostage Crisis at the time, and now that you've done all this research, what were your biggest misconceptions?
Well,
basically not like your fault,
okay.
What was not being told?
I was sort of in my own world during that time, because that was also, I had finished Harlan County, and so I was taking it all over the country. President Jimmy Carter was, there, and he just seemed like a person that had so much hope and so much humanitarianism and strength. And I just thought that the world was pretty good. And then, the hostage crisis happened. And every night, we would look at Ted Koppel's Nightline, because that's sort of how Ted Koppel got started, and realized that there were frictions and there were other things that were happening. Because before, this was Vietnam on my scope. And so I thought that, okay, Vietnam is over, and there's a sense of peace and there's a sense of goodwill. And so I didn't know, what I know now about it. I just knew that it was happening. I would watch it on television. It would be 62nd day, 144th day, whatever it was. And that, President Carter really had, a lot to contend with, and couldn't contend with the things that he had really started out to do as he became president.
So President Carter is in your documentary?
Yes, he is. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw it last night.
Okay.
I had a little screener. But,
okay. A screener? You didn't come and see it?
I couldn't.
It's okay.
So much stuff. Like
I know.
You know how Tiff it is. There's so much energy. There's
Yes.
So much,
Yes.
You're getting pulled this way and the third.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's funny actually. The first time I was, I used to live in Toronto as a student. I went to Ryerson for a year.
Right.
And it was 2007, and I saw President Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at TIFF.
Wow.
Yeah, he talked for like an hour. It was great.
When? How long ago was this?
2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did he talk about? Do you remember?
It was kind of like all over the place, but I think there was a lot of Israel and Palestine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you get Jimmy Carter to do this documentary? How did you get him to appear? Is that like an elaborate process to get a former president?
Yes. Well, President Carter is 93. He's about to be 94 October 1st, so very soon. And I tried for 3 months to try to get him to say yes. And I have a friend who was Mondale's speechwriter named Bernie Aronson. And he was also in my film Harlan County, so that's how I knew him, because he worked for the United Mine Workers. And so he did everything that he could. And then I met and interviewed Jerry Rashun, who was Carter's campaign manager, who you met in the film. And so I bugged him. And there was also this guy who is head of the Carter Foundation. And I was told to get in touch with him. And I could never reach him. But his voicemail was so provocative because I'd call up and he'd go, "Howdy, this is Phil Wise." And so I started having a relationship with Phil Wise on his voicemail.
That's
you know,
funny.
like talking to him. I go, "Howdy, this is Barbara Kopple, and I really need you to let me see, President Carter." And then I'd call again. "I'm doing this film," and I would just tell him everything. I wrote emails to President Carter. I don't know if he ever got them. And then finally one day, Phil Wise called me back, and he said, "Okay." He said, "You have enough people lobbying for you, and I found, your voicemails to me were cute. I liked them. I got some good laughs over them, and okay." And he said, "Come."
How many messages?
A lot.
Okay. But you were charming.
Yes.
Clearly you were charming.
Well, I was trying to
Yeah.
be provocative enough so maybe he would consider calling me back, and maybe he would say yes. And so they said I could film him, and it was on Valentine's Day,
Oh.
February 14th. So he said, "You're only going to get 20 minutes." And so I went.
You gotta make it count.
Huh?
You gotta make it count. 20
Yes,
minutes.
I
know.
But I went out and I got him really great chocolates for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And I got the First Lady. I had been in South Sudan, and I had filmed there, and Kate Taylor, who's the sister of James Taylor, which was singing with the women and teaching them how to bead. And so they would make hearts. So I brought her a little red crystal heart from the women of South Sudan for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And so I got there and I said, "I have some gifts for President Carter." And they said, "Well, if you give them to him, we're taking it out of your 20 minutes. And so I said,
Jeez Louise.
I said, "Okay." And I said, "You give it to him and to the First Lady." And they said yes. And when he came in, he said, "Thank you for the chocolates." And she wrote me a note.
That's so sweet.
She said, "I love the heart. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much for thinking of me."
She was actually at that event that I was at in 2007 as well. She was a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Really
yeah.
classy lady.
Yeah.
Do you believe that President Carter is a misunderstood president?
Well, it's interesting because in doing this film and showing it, two of the guys who came said we're looking at President Carter in a whole different way now.
Wow.
After seeing this film, we understand him
Jeez.
a lot more. So I thought that was pretty wonderful.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah,
That
it's
is big.
very big.
What do you think of how the current administration is handling Iran?
I don't know. I mean, I hope that we don't go to war with Iran more than anything. I mean, I think the people there just want to live a really good life. They have an Iranian version of Les Miserables, and it's always sold out. And
I didn't know. That's really cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
And I just hope that we don't have to go any further, and that maybe this film that we've just done on Desert One can help give a little history as to the different viewpoints of, America and Iran.
Yeah, maybe now that John Bolton is out the door, maybe that means no war with Iran.
We don't know.
Who knows? Right.
We don't know.
Who knows?
We can't even guess. We can't
No,
even
with this
speculate.
president, every 20 minutes is something.
It's a different.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something different.
Jeez.
So.
So yeah, I liked how you guys look at the Shah and the coup in 1952 with
Great.
what's his name, Mossadegh.
Great, yeah.
Yeah. So And then, of course, the war in Iraq, and you have covert war in Syria,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada. Do you believe that the U.S. is at least partially responsible for Mideast turmoil?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not, politically savvy enough to lay that out for you. So I'm not going to even guess what's right, what's wrong, or what's happening.
I guess as a documentarian, you look at isolated stories and just tell those stories.
Well,
and,
you look at the bigger picture, but then it's just your opinion, and it may not be based in any fact. So.
Right. Okay. So how did you get into political documentary filmmaking?
Well, I don't see my films as political documentaries.
Okay.
I see my films as storytelling and allowing people to say who they are, what they believe in, what they think is right, what they fight for. So I see them as very humanistic films.
Ah, interesting. So how often do you consume the news?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay. And what do you think about YouTube's rise in the role of news?
I like it. I like any different perspective that you can get on news. Vice News, the regular straight news that you get, YouTube news. I love it because it's coming from all different angles and all different perspectives. And as a filmmaker, that's what you think about anyway, is all these different stories and all these different pieces that you want to put together.
All right. So, Barbara, thanks so much for your time. What do you have planned for the future?
A lot.
Hey, all right. Well, there we go. Thank you so much for your time.